What is a pit bull? Well, pit bull is actually not a breed. It's a genetic term often used to describe dogs with similar traits. But the pit bull you might be thinking of is the man-eating monster dog that the media has made it out to be. Actually, it's really not a man-eating monster dog. Pit bulls are some of the most loving, caring dogs that we have in this society. A properly bred pit bull can be so happy to meet strangers or friends of their owners that families are actually sometimes worried that they won't make a good guard dog and they won't be able to protect their family and their home. Well, the myths that media has created around these dogs are so bred into this society that it's made people fear these dogs, and it's actually really sad. The pit bulls that I've known have been so sweet and so loving, and they just come right up and lay their heads down in your lap, and they're one of the best breeds that I can think of. Some people actually think that these dogs are so terrifying and they just hate humans and that they're aggressive, and it's actually not really true. As of March 2001, the American Pitbull is currently at a passing rate of 82% for temperament tests. That makes it one of the 5 most stable breeds of dogs in this country. So, what is a pit bull? Well, again, pit bull is just a term used to describe a bunch of other dogs, but a pit bull is typically a medium-sized dog with short fur and very muscular and powerful. Common colors for the breed are black and white, brown, light brown, white, brown and white, and blue or gray. They can have floppy ears, some can have pointy ears. The breed is pretty generally very physically and mentally well-rounded. So it makes them really good dogs for owners who are responsible and very active and caring. So owners who are inexperienced with owning other dogs or are not very much of a leader, this dog can be hard to handle sometimes, so I wouldn't recommend it to owners like that. The dog is pretty rambunctious in its first couple of years until it hits maturity, and at that point, this breed can actually be very mellow. Some have, a lot of owners have been known to classify their dogs as couch potatoes, which is like the human form of sitting around. But the maturity of these dogs can come pretty late, 2 to 3 years in some cases. Pit bulls are very strong, they're very energetic, they're agile and powerful dogs. They're also very driven and determined and resourceful. So, if your dog is in the backyard and it sees a squirrel and it really wants to get that squirrel, well, if it's a pit bull, it will figure out just about any way to get across the street or get under the fence, get over the fence to get that squirrel. If they want something, they will get it. Now, human aggression, severe shyness, and instability are not typical traits found in this dog. Actually, the pit bull's nature and its niceness has actually made the dog an ideal candidate to work as therapy dogs, which is pretty interesting considering that they're man-eating monsters. Now, whether provided that you have a structured environment and have established a very positive leadership role in this dog's life, you can raise a pit bull that is known as a very friendly and loving one. But there's some things that you really need to know about this breed. Although a good home and a positively established relationship with the dog can help it become more nice and stable, this dog has been bred for hundreds of years in dog-to-dog combat, which is where it gets these horrible misconceptions. These dogs, have been used to fight other dogs for so many years that that's what they were bred to do, which is why when it comes to other dogs, they can be very aggressive, which is why you need to have a very stable owner who can really watch their dog and make sure that they don't get themselves into trouble. But this dog is very caring at the same time. When it comes to physical harm to its person, it really knows when to treat something as a threat and when to not. But this dog is generally known to keep its guardians or its owners laughing constantly. They're a silly breed. They're ridiculous. I mean, they roll around everywhere, and because of their speed, they can just run from across the yard back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And they're known to make people laugh. So, like I said, they have a tendency to be aggressive towards other dogs, which is why if you're thinking of getting a pit bull for your own home, make sure that the pit bull that you're getting, if you have another dog, it's not showing signs of aggression towards your other dog, or if you raise it from being very young, just know that fighting can happen. There's been homes where pit bulls, there's been multiple pit bulls, and they'll be fine, laying on each other, licking each other's faces, whatever, and out of nowhere, they'll just attack each other. And then they'll go right back to being best friends. Pit bulls can do that. You have to realize that no matter how much love and care that you give towards this dog, you can't necessarily train the fight out of the pit bull. But that doesn't mean that they're not fabulous dogs. They are very sweet, and though they do tend to sometimes lash out, it's not generally at their owners, unless their owners are very abusive. If I were a dog, I'd probably lash out at them too. But overall, these dogs are wonderful. So should they be allowed to be kept as pets? Absolutely. These dogs are very caring and loving towards their owners and their families, and the misconceptions that the media has brought upon them is just unfathomable. People are so consumed by what they see that they don't actually take the time to learn these creatures, which is pretty sad. So, yes, they should be able to be kept as breeds of pets.